You guys set out from the Tagalyn Covenant with, so what was his name? William?
Then we found the plague village.
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
Then we burned the plague village.
You did burn the plague village, didn't you? William St. John. Yes,
Didn't we just blast it from orbit because it was the only way to be sure?
Basically, if I'm not mistaken.
And, I just like to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that.
So then you came across a plague village and found out some things, and then you did burn it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you started heading towards the town of Whitchurch, which you could see in the distance.
What church?
That church. And then you were heading towards the Covenant of Ad Vis Per Veritas. You were heading along this road. One of you sighted figures to the east of you in a sort of a marshy area. You didn't do anything with that. You just started heading further down the road, and then you took the westerly trail towards the Covenant of Ad Vis Per Veritas, where you were promptly ambushed by a lone bandit. I believe it was several bandits, but his brothers abandoned him. So it was just one bandit archer who unceremoniously killed one of your party. I can't remember which grog it was.
I know which one it was. It was one of our named ones. It was Howl? I think it was Howl.
It was Howl.
Howl.
Yes, it was. It was
Howl.
Yes, that was rather mean of me, but it's
like a brother to me.
It's on record now. I just asked you to name one, and you named. Unfortunately,
well, we only have so many that are named.
Well, you can always name another one. It doesn't matter.
It's just not going to be Howl.
So you made your way through these woods, and you came to a cave entrance at the base of a large rocky spire that just rises up into the heavens, which is the Tower of Ad Vis Per Veritas. The cave entrance, there is a set of spiral stairs leading upwards, from which you can see faint light shimmering downwards into the cavern. There's also a small gatehouse building here, constructed of stone. Its wooden door seems recently patched and repaired. And so William St. John dismounts from his horse, and he tells you that the gatehouse was usually occupied by a magus by the name of Dedrick, who acted as the Covenant's gatekeeper. William calls for Dedrick and announces himself, but there is no response from the gatehouse. What do you do?
Are there any signs of life coming from within the compound?
No. Where you are now, the cave is like just a sheer kind of cliff of rock that you came upon, with then this spire reaching skywards above that. But then at the base of this kind of cliff of rock is this cavern with this small stone gatehouse.
Look, I'll send Orla up around the tower just to see if there are if she can see anything, or are there windows or openings or anything on the top?
She goes up there and she can basically just see a kind of plateau of granite, and then from that plateau is this seemingly natural granite tower that stretches 200 feet in the air and just finishes in a fine needle point at the top, hence its name, the Needle Spire.
There's no openings or anything like that?
There are some windows scattered throughout. There is a door at the very base of the tower on this kind of granite plateau, or at least the remains of a door. There seem to be shattered and splintered wood around there.
Is that door accessible, or is it like on the sheer side?
It's accessible to an owl. It is not accessible to you, no.
Okay.
Because it's about 60 feet at the top of a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming she won't go in. I mean, I don't have like a telepathic, or actually do I? It's an animal companion. I think I do have some limited telepathic abilities with her. I won't send her in regardless, or hopefully she won't go in.
Okay.
Does this gate look like sealed and secured, or is it
just a small stone structure, almost like a tumble-down cottage type thing? It's got a wooden door that's been like patched and repaired, but the door's not like bolted shut or anything, no.
Maybe that's the first thing we should investigate.
Nips would check it out. That's kind of why she's along.
Well, Nips goes in. The interior just a single room with straw strewn on the floor, and then there's a rumpled straw mattress, a cupboard that's filled with dried foodstuffs and is full. It's full with food. There is a chest at the end of the mattress. It looks like it was, recently occupied, maybe in the last week or so.
Nips would go kick the chest open.
The chest pops open and it is filled with neatly arranged scrolls.
She would shout, all clear, and take a closer look at the scrolls. Are any of them labeled on the outside? Is there a wax seal on them?
Just rolled up.
Then she would unroll one of them and take a peek and see what kind of documents they are.
It appears to be a treatise regarding a new interpretation of Aristotle's theory of music.
Ooh. And if I open up a couple more, are they just more random?
Well, they're not random. They all appear to be various arguments in favor of or disputing Aristotle's new theory of music.
Is there poison on these? Is this Name of the Rose all over again? Poisoned Aristotle documents?
No.
Mhm.
Hold on.
And by no, I mean yes.
No.
Is there another way out of this gatehouse? Is this a gatehouse that leads on into something else, or is the gatehouse protecting the way up to the stairs up above?
The gatehouse is just inside the entrance to the cave.
Okay.
There's nothing else in the cave. It's just dry and dusty, and then this stone staircase spiraling upwards.
Well, further up and further in?
I think so.
Okay. So you all make your way up the spiral staircase, and you find yourselves, after a bit of climbing, in a large room. There's a gate of thick oak in the eastern wall, which clearly was once barred and protected this area. But the door lies in tatters and is completely shattered, and there's just shards of wood strewn all over. This is a large single-floor roofed structure, and it's completely in ruins. And you stand at its center in this staircase, which continues to spiral upwards above you. There's a large domed skylight set in the ceiling that fills most of this area with a cone of daylight. But beyond that, little remains.
How many floors up is that skylight?
It is just in the roof of this chamber.
Oh, I see. So the stairway that goes up goes to another space that is smaller than this floor.
Yes, if you look upwards, it seems to round off as though it's entering into the tower.
I see.
So, judging by the smell and the various remains of structures and rooms you can see here, this appears to have been the common area of Ad Vis Per Veritas, but it appears to have been abandoned and looted.
Looted, eh?
Well, Lugai will certainly ensure that there's nothing else of interest around here. He'll go poke around rooms.
Yep, the walls and all of the structures all appear to be scorched, some burned beyond recognition. I should add, I need to do a bit of retro here. William St. John refused to enter the cavern and the covenant with you.
Did he say why?
He feels that all of what happened to this covenant is partly his fault, and he doesn't want to see what has become of it. So he volunteers to just stand guard outside.
Bertram would like to check out that door, that big oak door. Does it open?
What I need you to do then, Bertrand is walking towards that door.
Yes.
Then I need you to give me a roll of intellect plus stamina plus a stress die.
Okay, here we go. Yep, there we go. It's a terrible roll.
Yeah, it is because. Oh no. I'm sorry. You got a 6. I thought that you rolled an actual 10, which would be a 0. Never mind.
Oh,
I
yeah.
retract
No,
what I
10
was
is a
gonna
good
say.
roll.
Yeah, well, not for a stress die. You want to roll a 1 on a stress die.
But 10's still pretty good for the outcome.
Oh man, I was just
Yeah.
trying to get involved and walk towards something, and look what happened. I
Never
don't even
walk
know what's
towards
going to happen.
anything.
Yeah, 10 is
Never
10
walk towards anything.
10 is a pretty decent result, probably, but I guess that's up to Colum.
Bertrand walks over to the doorway, and
That's it.
nothing befalls him.
It's a pretty thick.
The doors are completely destroyed. They're just scorched and burned beyond recognition.
But it's still shut, right? It's still intact.
No, it's not intact at all. It
Oh.
opens out onto this granite plateau that then, after several feet, just falls off over a cliff edge.
Yeesh.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess there's nothing there.
No, it looks like there may have been, some small structures, some small wooden structures, maybe some like animal pens or something out there, but everything out there is just destroyed, as is everything in here.
But yeah, look, guys, kind of checking out this. He's being very thorough. So the nearest, according to your diagram, it looks like there's a kind of an open room, an open passage or door or whatever to a room to the west. So he's going to start there. And
So I don't think Niall has a good skill, but does anybody have a way to see if a spell has been cast here? Like, I don't think I have a good match for that in my abilities.
that would be Intelligo Veem. So any mage is willing that could cast Intelligo Veem could detect residual magic, perhaps again at the story guide's discretion.
No, sadly, Bertrand is mostly really good at lying and stuff.
I would say that you're versed enough in magic that you can actually tell that large numbers of these scorch marks have magical origins. Some do not.
Looking at scorch marks, I think I would.
Yeah.
I have a magic sensitivity. I'm sure we all do, but
Oh yeah, there we go.
You don't need it. You can tell.
I'm just asking for future reference.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that would be a
enough.
skill that would be used in this situation.
Fair enough.
Which is your fire mage, Cam? Is it?
Alwyn?
Oh, Alwyn is the fire mage. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they can tell just by, whatever, the blast patterns, etc., etc. Yeah, Simon heads off to the room to the west, and it's just a ruined, wrecked room.
Mm-hmm. And Lukai will just kind of continue. So there are these 3 southern spaces. He'll go in there, and he's just going to be thorough and just look at every place.
Again, you just find not only is everything destroyed, but there's nothing here. It looks like if anything was usable or intact, it looks like it's been just looted.
Well, the north, there's a closed door.
Again, this room is just completely gutted and burned. It looks like it was some kind of stable.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's one more room.
The room in the north, again, has very little in it. And the northwest corner of it seems to have this pile of. It seems to be like a pile of rubble, but then there's some it seems like that a tabletop or perhaps has been just laid against it.
Oh. Move it around. You sift through.
As you sift through that and move it around, you reveal an opening and find a set of stairs that spiral downwards into complete darkness.
Oh ho ho! I found something.
You need some light? My fingers just start sparkling a little bit.
We can either go up into the tower or down these stairs.
Did it seem like the stuff was arrayed down there intentionally to conceal those stairs down, or did it just the rubble collapse that way? Can we tell?
It's difficult to tell. It seems that perhaps maybe the tabletop was dragged over it. That the rubble had been cleared somewhat to allow access, and then the table had been placed on top to obscure it.
I vote for down.
Yeah, let's go down. Alwyn, you've got the light. I guess you go first.
Or should we send Grogs down? Not that they're completely expendable or anything.
Yeah, a grog, maybe a grog, like a shield grog directly in front of... We still have a few of those remaining. Directly in front of Alwyn.
I would assume without needing to figure out too much of a spell, I could just get a ball of flame
Yeah.
floating above us.
There are certainly light spells. I'd be surprised if you didn't even
Yeah.
have one memorized, as it were.
Well, I assume the Grogs have some torches.
We may have
Fine.
torches.
Sorry, that's the boring way. Do the magic way.
You have Palm of Flame.
Yeah.
But that sounds really appropriate.
Okay.
I'm just looking it up right now. Palm of Flame, level 5. Flame leaps into your palm, which must be upturned for the spell's duration. The flame casts light like a torch and can ignite very flammable items. It does no damage and does not burn the caster.
There you go. I cast Palm of Flame, which should just happen.
There's essentially no chance of you to fail. Yeah.
Okay. You venture down these spiraling steps, and
That spell's so cheap that I bet all of our mages could just cast it without effort. I know mine can, without even being a flame specialist.
Well, Lottie frickin' da. Good for
No,
you.
it's just saying we all can do it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, can you all do this? I cast Ball of Abysmal Flame.
I was just gonna say, let's have some Ball of Abyssal Flame to liven up the
Right.
party.
So you descend into basically this complete impenetrable darkness. Alwyn's flame lights the way, maybe 5 feet in front of you and around you. And you appear to be in a cave system. You can hear a steady dripping of water somewhere far in the distance, but beyond the 5 feet that the light allows, you can see absolutely nothing. The darkness is just absolutely impenetrable. So do you keep heading inwards?
Further up and further in, yeah. Let's keep going. We're here to investigate.
Yeah, I mean, now that I've looked it up for what it's worth, I'll put a Palm of Flame in my hand as well, just for a little bit of extra light.
Is it as easy if you don't have it as a regular spell? Don't we have to, like, isn't it fractions if it's improvised magic?
Actually, you're right about that. That's true. I would have to roll. You're right about that. Let me see if I can
Fail.
do it.
Can the Grog just light a torch to back
They
that
can,
up?
but I just want to try this now.
I mean,
that we're here.
they can certainly light torches off of my. Now that I've
Yeah.
got a Palm of Flame up, it's easy enough to light the torches off them, and I would encourage them to do so. But that's easier than getting out a tinder box and.
Oh yeah, good point. But Simon insists. Simon's a little envious of your flame casting ability.
I mean, I'd be envious too if I were him.
I got
Ooh.
a 14, 15, plus 8. I got a 22, which, if I divide by 5, is enough.
Not by much.
Get me there. Yeah, not by much. But that means that, whatever. I could even divide by 2 and just go ahead and be slightly fatigued. But yeah. Okay, that's fine.
All right, your flame's bigger. All right, we get it.
Sure. Okay.
So you're moving westward through this cave system, and with the additional light, which is the amazing, much more light provided by Simon, you can see maybe 10 feet. Maybe 8 feet. In either direction. In all directions around you. And you can see that the cavern extends back eastwards towards the steps you came down. And then there appear to be passageways going off to the north and south, and then another passage continuing west.
If we do encounter any difficulties, it obviously would be wise to have torches. So I'm assuming. we're
Oh yeah,
doing
the
that.
Grogs
Yeah.
have lit their torches off of my.
Excelente. Love it.
It's
All
funny you should mention if you do encounter any trouble.
Really?
Yes, because now I need you all to roll initiative.
What?
Oh,
There we
okay.
go.
Okay, how do we do that in this game again?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
It is quickness plus any weapon initiative modifier plus a stress die.
And you need this for all our characters?
Yes, indeed.
I don't think I have any weapons.
So yeah, if you don't have a weapon, then I think your initiative is exactly just your quickness.
Yeah, quickness plus your stress die.
So Alwyn is at 11, and Nips is at 11. They're both at 11.
Niall's at a 2. Griffith is at an 8. He didn't have a weapon drawn. At the first sign of trouble, he'll draw his equivalent of a short sword for the era.
Now, I don't have one written on my sheet, but I can't imagine that Nips doesn't have a weapon.
I think that's a safe assumption. What's Nips's deal?
What's Nips's deal? Yeah.
Nips is a gentlewoman thief.
Oh, yeah.
So I would
Okay.
imagine that she would have
dagger.
either a bow or a dagger or a equivalent of a small sword or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll say she has a dagger.
Oh, yeah. Unarmed is 0 initiative bonus. Dagger is 0 initiative bonus.
Okay, so that stays the same.
And shortish sword +1 if he had it out.
I have just a quick question here. Since I'm so good with the whole metalsmithing thing and I have so many metallic objects on me, how quickly and how difficult would it be for me to fashion a makeshift weapon?
I mean, it would seem to make sense that you'd have the equivalent of a knife on you at the least.
Mhm.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
that make sense? Or a shiv?
Okay. Yeah, I'll do something like that. It's like a
Okay.
shard of I have a long, sharp shard of metal. How's that?
Great.
Not super long, but like hand width.
Shank. It's listed as a shank on the melee
It's a
weapons
shank. Yeah,
table.
I have a shank. I will hold my shank at the ready.
What was Bertrand's initiative?
3.
3. Okay. So I've got Nips and Alwyn, Simon and Lugai, Niall and Griffith and Bertrand. Is that who is present here?
And our grogs.
And a couple of grogs, yeah.
We assume we brought 1 shield grog per wizard, so now we're down to 2 shield grogs. I didn't even think about that.
So you've got 2 shield grogs.
And we're assuming the Teamsters and all those folks hung back.
Okay. Do you want me to roll 2 grog initiative?
Sure.
Ugh, 1,
Well, if it's a stress die, you get to roll that again.
10. So that's a 0, though, right?
Roll the 1 again and double the result. So that's
a
now a
6.
12.
Oh, that's right, because it doubles. Nice.
Right. And the 0, you might botch. So you got to roll that one again as well.
Okay. I didn't know I was getting myself on all this hullabaloo when I started rolling.
Well, stop rolling 1s and 0s.
Botch. Sorry, I only work in binary. Except that's a 5.
You didn't.
5.
So
That's
now,
not a botch.
so you're just at 0.
Just slow, yeah.
Okay, there are 9 individuals going through the darkness here, and as you reach this intersection, a hail of arrows shoots out of the darkness to the west of you
The hell?
and strikes everyone in the
Mhm.
party except Simon and Griffith. And these arrows are a surprise attack in the darkness. You have no defense, no preparation against them. Each arrow does a +6 of damage
Oh, Jesus.
to the character. It's Ars Magica. You should be all right.
No, you're going to be nearly dead. So take the damage and subtract your soak, which if you don't have any armor, your soak is your stamina.
And my stamina for Arlen, I have -1, so do I add?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have a +1
Okay, so
for
you
stamina.
take 5.
5, yeah.
So your wound penalties, so you're now at -1 for
Me?
everything that
Okay.
happens. Yep, because you've taken 5 wounds.
Well, that sucks. Well, I have a bind wound spell. So if it gets too dire, I suppose I could cast that.
Potentially, yep.
See, so I took 7, so
you're at
I'm
-3
at
for everything.
medium. Yep.
Lugai has a soak of 7, so he actually doesn't take any damage.
Wow, because of armor.
Armor and his stamina.
Ouch, that sucked.
Okay. You see these half dozen figures. You can kind of make them out in the darkness to the west of you. They appear to be robed. It's very difficult to tell given the darkness, but they are approaching you. They seem to be hugging the walls of the cavern. The darkness alone is making them almost impossible to see. But you can hear them shuffling towards you in the darkness, and you can hear them knocking arrows in their bows. And we've got a Grog and Lugai with initiatives of 12, so they can go first here.
Lugai will, whoever is the closest, he's going to go and stab him with his spear. Any objections?
No, absolutely not.
All right, then.
It is extremely dark, so you are going to have a -1 to your attack.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay, so I'll include the -1 then in this roll. So my attack roll is a 16 versus their defense.
The defense on this guy is a 5. So what are we? That is 11, correct, isn't it?
Yeah, I beat it by 11. So what does that do?
So strength plus weapon damage modifier plus the attack advantage.
Oh, plus the advantage? Oh, so it's 11 plus, so they're going to take 18.
Oh, 18 damage? Yeah, you hear him go, "Ugh!" and you vaguely see a figure in the darkness fall to the ground.
Okay, 1
Spears
dead.
are dangerous, kids.
And then we have an axe from a...
Who wants to roll for Grog 1? I rolled last time and it was weird.
I'll take care of it here. So their attack is a +7. So D10 plus 7.
Are you subtracting the 1?
Oh, subtract 1. So make it a 14.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's still...
Oh, I will. So
these
14
are
versus their defense.
These are still very good hits. And that is going to be 9.
So that's
that
a
is
5.
5.
And 5 plus the axe damage is 7. I rolled the wrong thing. So it's actually 5 more because the attack with an axe is 12. So the difference, so instead of 14, it was 19. Nice, it's 10. So so they take 17. So I think that's another dead guy.
Oh, yep, that is.
All right.
So you hear another fall.
Axe to the neck. Kablamo. All right.
And who else was in the first round there?
Nips is up.
Nips would step a bit away, so she's no longer... No, she'd fire her bow first. Which is... You guys will have to talk me through this again. It's a +3 attack, +6 damage.
So it'll be your bow die plus your bow skill plus the attack number on your weapon.
Well, then maybe I'll use my dagger instead, and I'll just use a single weapon. Yeah, I'll engage with them in melee. So,
All
right.
so that's a D10 +4 -1 +2 for the dagger.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So that's a D10 +5 total.
There you go. Against their defense.
That's a 12.
Oh, and that's an 11, so that's 1.
So you beat it by 1, so you will do damage. So whatever, that's 1 plus whatever the damage of the dagger.
1 +3 damage, so 4 damage.
4. So now that particular dude's at -1.
Yep, you do make a hit.
And don't forget, if you are wounded, you also are at -1 or -3.
Oh shit! Yeah,
For
so
every
I was
single roll you make.
-3 there for my wound, which I forgot, so I did not hit.
You actually didn't hit, Ben. Yeah.
I have to admit, I find this very difficult to keep track of because there's no hit points.
No.
Yeah, it's the wound thing. Yeah.
You just accumulate wounds until you're incapacitated.
Yeah, I mean, you're all at 0, which is basically, yeah, I'm just, if it's anywhere between, because it's 11 to 15 is the heavy wounds, because size 0 is pretty much all of you.
Yep.
So some of these guys would probably still be standing, but fuck it. I mean, I figure if it's a heavy wound, they're going to die. So
That makes sense.
let's not drag this out. Okay, I think Griffith.
Wait, I thought Griffith had the crappy roll.
Griffith has an 8, according to me.
Oh, okay. He did.
You've all
I
got
this-
crappy
Well,
rolls.
Simon was the crappy roll. Yeah. Okay, Griffith, he's got some weapon skill. Yeah, he'll charge forward with his little sword.
So much killing.
Yeah. I'm hoping this is like bandits hold up here and not last guards of the Covenant hold up down here. In fact, Griffith is gonna, I mean, they did shoot at us. Yeah, I know he's gonna charge forward and join the battle.
All right.
He's a hot-headed youth. So D10, it's gonna be +4 for my attack or my weapon skill, and then my dex. Oh, it's all covered here. So +8 total, but -1 for the. Oh, he didn't get wounded. He was one of the handful who did not get wounded. Right, it was him and Simon.
Simon didn't get wounded, and Lugai, although he got hit, also didn't get wounded.
Okay. Doink for a 13, therefore.
And that is a. Oh, that's a stress die. And that's a 1. That's a 1
Oh,
on.
damn it! That's the defense roll going on here. All right.
Yeah.
Boo.
So that is.
That's a space
9
6 +2.
So 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm counting there. Yeah. So that's my 13 is 4. Yeesh. Plus sword damage is 5. So 9. Nope. Sorry, 8 because I'm wimpy. 8.
Okay, you do manage to hit one of them. And with that hit, you can see maybe 5 figures. I assume you're pressing westward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go west, young party. Go west.
And away from the wizards, I think, would be the general tactic.
Yeah. So you're pressing westward here, and the 5 remaining figures, 2 of them come to the aid of their fallen brethren and pick them up and start to drag them back further west into the cave and flee away from you.
Okay. Niall's going to try yelling out, "Do you serve the Covenant?"
You hear a woman's voice shout from somewhere in the distance in the darkness. "Leave now! You will find nothing but death here."
That's what everybody says in this area.
Yeah, I know. That's not unusual.
Does she have like a brusque, brutal voice of a bandit or a kind-hearted voice of a Covenant servant?
Neither. Kind of a confusing, vague mix of those things.
Was there one dead that they didn't drag off?
Well, I mean, is there no chance for us to stop them from dragging people? That's like, we haven't even gone through our entire party yet, right?
That's true.
They have fled the scene. They are beyond your view. They have just withdrawn into the darkness.
Oh.
I mean, you could attempt to, if you have arrows, fire them blindly or cast fireballs blindly.
Abyssal flame.
The guy that came up, he had to come up right in front of me, right, to take his fallen companion that I had killed. Surely I could stab him too, right?
But you don't have another turn.
Okay.
Can we get a torch up and look at this guy? Like, is he in Covenant outfit or uniform or anything like that? Or
He's a young man. He seems quite thin and gaunt.
John of Gaunt, 200 years too early.
He appears robed, almost like a monk of some sort.
Shit.
But
All right.
He looks, quite. Well, he's dead, obviously, but he looks quite sickly and emaciated, like malnourished.
Well, it seems dangerous to keep going into these dark, dark caverns where people can just shoot at us from anywhere.
Yeah, and to the west of you, you can hear a commotion. It sounds like more people, and you can hear this woman again just rousing these people. And she's saying, quickly, quickly, gather your weapons and attack. You can hear like the rattling of it sounds like swords being picked up.
Hey, Alwyn, you always want to burn things up. We can't have these people behind us. They could come up the stairs behind us. I don't know that,
I mean, without a target,
What if we withdraw at least to the light of the entry?
I guess I could send a pilum of fire in their direction.
Yeah. Anything to dissuade them. Like, I don't want them coming up after us. Like, Lou
But
guys.
yeah,
like,
I
don't have
would
these people coming up after us.
rather fall back to some sort of bottleneck.
Sounds good.
I have a pit of the gaping earth. Put some distance between us.
Also good.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
I'm assuming that's what a pit of the gaping earth does.
Hold on, I will tell you. Pit of the Gaping Earth. The ground in a circle 6 paces across recedes into the ground, leaving a pit 9 feet deep. If the target... Oh, wait. Sorry. It says a dirt. If the target area contains material other than dirt, the material is not affected. Is this solid stone or is it dirt underneath us?
Solid stone.
Damn.
Ah,
Yeah, sorry.
Boo hiss.
Yeah, I got nothing great either. Yeah, I'd like at least to withdraw into the light so we can see these guys. Or maybe they won't pursue us that far.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to put up pilum of fire, but let's draw back to a bottleneck before I do it.
Yeah, let's do that thing. We're doing that thing, Colin.
So what? You're withdrawing to the east?
Yeah, and back into the entrance where there's light, and then you were going to leave some flame to block off the point where
give
they come
me.
through.
Can you give me pilum of fire again, Rob? Since you're so good at looking up.
Pilum of Fire. A 2-foot thick spear-shaped jet of fire flies in your palms. Oh, doing plus 15 damage to the individual it hits.
Well, I would just send it down the middle and at least let them know we mean business.
Great.
I mean, that should be, if I send it towards the voices, that should be at least pretty intimidating going in there.
Yeah, I'll make them think twice.
In the distance to the west, you can see figures approaching in the darkness, and they appear to be led by the figure of a woman.
Yeah, I'll send pilum of fire in their direction.
Okay, do you need to roll for that, or is it just happening?
Oh, well, it's a clerg of 20, and I have a plus 41, so it should just happen unless you're stressing me the fuck out.
Yeah, is this a stress dice scenario?
I'm not going to stress you. Okay, so, okay, tell me what happens here then.
I send a pilum of fire, a 2-foot wide bar of flame, you said?
Yeah, so it would be 15 damage to the individual it hits, but I think part of the goal here is to make them think carefully about running toward us too quickly.
Okay. Yeah, the pilum of fire explodes down the western passageway and towards the figures approaching you. And many of them seem to drop their weapons and cower.
It's called fuck around and find out.
But the female figure raises both of her hands.
Uh-oh.
And then seems to wave the right hand in a rapid circular motion. And as she does so, a great gust of wind pushes down the passageway towards you and dissipates your pilum of fire into the surrounding walls.
Arc of fiery ribbon right back at her.
All right. So wait, this is clearly a mage of some sort. Do we have, since it's been a while, do we have names of the mages who are in this covenant, Ad Vis Per Veritas?
We had a bunch of names from the will.
Oh, yeah. The will.
Like a pile of them.
Magus, there's a Gilbert, there's a Tyrus, Carolta. That sounds like that might be a woman. Dedrick might be a woman, but Carolta sounds like who we want.
Are you Carolta? I quickly yell, backpedaling before her next spell goes off.
She calls back, "Who dare names me?"
We're mages from the covenant of our covenant name, Simon.
I love it. Tagalyn.
Tagalyn. Yeah. We're mages from Tagalyn. We're coming to see if we can help you. Damn it.
You are thieves.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You have come here to murder my brothers.
Wrong.
We most certainly have not.
Burn.
Right?
This sounds like a job for a charming Bertrand.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
All right. We mean you no harm. We simply came to help. Please, can we not talk about this rationally?
Help? Coming in here, burning and murdering?
You shot at us.
We burned and murdered no one until you shot at us. We meant no harm. It was a simple misunderstanding.
We are simply defending ourselves.
As are we. Let's stop defending ourselves and talk about this. Who do you think is burning and murdering?
You are burning
Oh, God.
and murdering.
Over.
The evidence speaks for itself. What proof have thee of who you say you are?
Oh, okay. That's a good one. What
Your
do we
boy,
have?
Saint William St. John, is outside. He guided us here. He came to seek help from our covenant.
William is with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
She turns and seems to hastily call a conference of her brethren, and they gather around her.
I don't like
And
him.
she turns to you and says, I am sending one of my men through so he may verify the veracity of your story.
Cool, we can burn another one.
No, I'll take him up to see William. You guys stay there.
No! You will stay where you are.
Oh, God. Okay.
No, wait. We don't know who you are, who you say you are. We don't know that your person won't just go kill poor William. He's suffered enough. Mrs. Griffith, by the way, in this conversation.
We do have a bunch of people standing up there. We've got
Oh, that's
a
true. We've got
dozen-
the
we've got
support
all
staff.
the teamsters and stuff.
the bearers. Yeah, true. Okay.
I'm comfortable letting him go. Yeah, we've got enough folks up there.
Yeah. So this kind of chubby monkish guy, he's like dressed in this, he's attired the same way as the dead guy you checked. He apprehensively makes his way past you and then darts up the stairs. And then he comes back. There's a very awkward 10 minutes where you're all just
Yep.
facing each other off in silence. And
So
then,
rough weather here lately, eh?
Then he comes back, and you notice that he's carrying the white polished stone with the eye in the ear that William showed you at the gates of Tagalyn several weeks previously. And he shows it to the woman, and she takes it, and she looks at you and says, she seems to relax and says, so what you say is true. You are from the Covenant of Tagalyn.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
We've come to help.
She seems somewhat relieved. She says, I thought no one would come. I thought we were doomed for certain. I am the last defender of Ad Vis Per Veritas. Just me and my 13 brethren. We have kept ourselves down here in this cavern as our last line of defense against thieves and marauders and murderers and traitors.
Traitors, you say?
She spits to the ground and goes, yes.
What can you tell us of what's happened here? We only have what Williams told us.
She leads you back in to the cavern. You find yourself in this large cavern. There's a large pool at the center where there's constant water dripping down from the roof into it. And there's a strong magical aura down here. There's been a magical aura in the entire place, but the magical aura in this area in particular is very strong. And Carolta explains to you that this pool is the source of their covenant's self-replenishing supply of vis, and so they have holed up here to defend it to the last. There seems to be very little else in here. Carolta and her grogs, they have like blankets and other personal possessions that they've kept here, but very little of it seems of any value. She has like a collection of glass instruments and engraved tablets that she clearly saved from the Covenant. There's also there's a couple of sacks of grain, and they have 5 chickens, which she tells you that they stole from nearby farms. She tells you that they've been reduced to stealing and basically acting as bandits in the surrounding countryside,
Uh-oh.
even stealing from actual bandits themselves. And though she's not proud of it, she said she will do whatever it takes to keep her brethren alive.
What has attacked you apart from the plague? Who's betrayed you? Who could do this to a group of mages?
Our troubles began when Silber Wisehand suddenly died, and when They threatened us with an inquisition. The Baron and his bishop.
You know, I've always wanted to burn a bishop.
What happened to the rest of the magi here?
Juan, the visiting Casator, came here to intercede on our behalf, and he found evidence of diabolism in our covenant. He brought forth evidence and showed it to our magi in my laboratory. However, before he accused any suspects, a plague struck and most of the covenant died or fled. By Loon, the disasters had left me alone in the covenant. Just one other magus, Dedrick, and some grogs. Several times mobs of peasants tried to ransack the covenant for herbs, and on several occasions some broke through. The warding lens disposed of them. We've managed to survive by sending out raiding parties of our own. I do not take pleasure in stealing from the mundanes, but I will do whatever is necessary for this covenant and its grogs to survive. But Dedrick and I faced a more serious threat. An unknown magus bombarded us with spells from afar, and occasionally he or she still does. Their fiery blasts appear from nowhere, apparently guided through the magic of the intangible tunnel. We try to divine the identity of our enemy, but they are clever, casting their spells by surprise, then swiftly closing the tunnel.
So this is something that you don't control, that's never been here before, just started being used when you were attacked.
And we know not the source. But I know that at least one of our magi, Araman, has turned traitor against us.
And how do you know that?
In the first moon of the plague, Araman sent me a notice of wizard war. A month of the plague's death followed. The next full moon rose in orange like flame. That very night, Araman and his followers burst into the Covenant to attack, not just me, but the Covenant's hallowed chambers of Vis. I advanced to ensorcel him, but he stunned me with an eldritch blast. When I awoke, Araman was gone. Dedrick had driven him from the sanctums. Nevertheless, they had looted the rest of Needlestone's laboratories, in complete violation of the codes of wizard war. I fear he even slew the poor creature I had hoped to make my familiar. I know that Araman used to visit a secret laboratory in the Fens. A week ago, I sent grogs to explore the marshes. They returned hastily, claiming that coughing plague victims still stumble through the swamp. Everyone knows that swamp mists cause death. How Araman and his followers have managed to survive there is beyond me. So I cancelled further expeditions until the weather becomes windy and dry to lift the infectious vapors.
Wait, so was Araman a member of Ad Vis Per Veritas?
Yes.
And did he have the capacity to cast those flame spells at a distance, or was that not in his powers?
I would not put anything beyond Araman's powers. Such an unscrupulous traitor. I would not be in the least surprised if he had entered some pact with a demon. All of this evidence of diabolism was sure to be him.
Have you been up into your tower recently since you took refuge down here?
I have not. There was just I and Dedrick and these followers. But Dedrick left the Covenant. He sent his apprentice Luke into hiding. But somehow, baronial guards found and arrested Luke and then sent a messenger summoning Dedrick to Whitchurch, using his poor apprentice as bait. Dedrick rode away with the guards and I have not seen him since. He always insisted on guarding the Covenant's main gate, if only to keep innocents away from the warding lens. With the Covenant in ruins, we sought sounder housing. The bowels of the caves offered secrecy and more reliable physical defense. Thus, we took shelter here, and the magical attacks on the Covenant have nearly ceased since we went into hiding. I know some of the others. Juan, the Casator, fled to some hidden sanctum of his. Luke, Dedrick's young apprentice, may still live somewhere in Whitchurch if the Baron's men haven't killed him. I've also heard that Venenzo, our master of accounts, still runs his mercantile exchange in Whitchurch. I implore you to find this merchant and order him to seize Araman's accounts before Araman can do any more damage. I found my notes, as you can tell.
Yeah, that actually sounds like finding this merchant is like we need more info right now before. I mean, unless we just want to burn a duke and a bishop, which I'm all for, but that still doesn't. I mean, we've got a slew of enemies here.
Given the betrayal, do you consider this merchant trustworthy?
I do not believe that Venenzo betrayed us.
All right. Do you want to huddle up, team?
Yeah, huddle up. I think it's worth checking out this merchant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's also the fens where we can go,
She probably won't leave. We could see if she wants to bring her grogs and we just vacate and take her back to us, if she's willing, of course. But it seems like she would probably want to stay and try to find others. And I guess we're aiming to help the Covenant, so cutting and running isn't the best bet. To Whitchurch, I guess the merchant's going to be there, and the apprentice and Dedrick would all be there.
I think that's the smart bet. Before we start wandering around Poison Fens.
Peralta says, please, if you can find these survivors and bring them back here, then we have a chance of rebuilding the Covenant. But that is our only chance. And it will take funds. So we will need Venenzo.
All right, that seems reasonable.
Would any of your grogs be able to serve us as guides, since you'll know the area better than us, and they could perhaps even lead us to the merchant?
I will ask for a volunteer, and he will ride with you.
Right, yes.
How does healing work in this game? Because I could...
Question.
You need Beast to make it permanent. So, this is actually one of the things that Simon does really well. So even those two people that we quoted killed, they were technically only incapacitated. They're going to get worse, but at the very least, he can stabilize them, continuously over and over again, so they won't die, and eventually...
See that pool?
Yeah, I was going to say, if we got Weiss there, then
That's a pool of Weiss.
He can do permanent healing to anybody that needs it, and he's happy to do so, especially now that we're...
So we have a pool of Weiss here?
Yes.
That's the pool. Yeah, cool.
Peralta is willing to allow you to use a few pawns of Weiss.
Well, as a show of good faith, he'll start with the 2 incapacitated grogs of hers.
Okay.
And heal them. I wonder which of these are going to be best. Chirurgeon's Healing Touch. I'd probably Chirurgeon's Healing Touch, probably.
Should we plan on resting here for the night? I don't know what the resting rules are for our minor wounds, but it doesn't have to all be magic.
I think that's probably a good idea.
I mean, it's got to be getting pretty late in the day at this point, I imagine.
Yes, it would be well into the evening.
So can we bring down our teamsters, and we probably have some supplies we can... A bottle of wine we can pass around that maybe they haven't had for a minute.
Ooh, yeah.
Peralta encourages you to bring your entire entourage down into the caves. As she says, the Covenant itself is far too dangerous.
Okay.
She herself is afraid to even set foot in it for fear of magical attack.
All right, that we will do. Yeah, so for what it's worth, purification of the festering wounds is what we want. For these people that are really seriously injured, it gives them this... There's this whole mechanic that I have to look up about recovery rolls or whatever, but essentially they will heal. They'll heal better, and they're essentially guaranteed to heal and they get better. For those of you who are lightly wounded, I can just immediately heal you.
Okay, well, I have bind wound, but it sounds like you
I've
got it
got
covered.
1 light wound and 1 medium wound individual here.
Yeah.
I have 5. And I have 5 wounds myself.
Well, that's 1 light
That
wound.
just means you have 1 wound if you took 5 damage in 1 hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
so...
I thought you said I had 5 wounds. Somebody said I had 5 wounds.
So, no. So, I can heal. You're just going to be fine. I can remove 1 of your wounds just outright.
Thank you.
And then, Nips, was it you who needed
Well,
to
Alwyn
heal
has
as well?
1 light wound. Okay, so that's
Okay,
done. And
healed,
then,
done.
Nips has a medium, or whatever they call it. She has 7 total for a medium wound.
I think with how this works is that if I do a healing touch, I can take you down to a light wound, I think is what that means. Because you're at medium, I think that means I can get you to light. So you're going to be at a light wound. Then you'll have to let that heal.
Okay. And is my counter full? Am I at 5 in the light wound? Is that...
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure how healing works.
I know how fire works, kinda.
Yeah, right.
You put fire on it, and...
Just cauterize all your own wounds, yeah. I will I have a book. Or we could puzzle it out for next time if we're not charging.
Yeah, we don't have to do this right here to waste time here.
Yeah. Seems like we're kind of at a good breaking point if we're not.
Recovery rolls are made at intervals determined by the severity of the wound, and there are 2 ease factors. If the recovery total equals or exceeds the improvement ease factor, the wound improves by 1 level. For example, from medium to light. So that'll do. We'll just say medium to light. Or light to heal. So you guys are going to spend, your entire party is going to spend the night in the caves beneath the ruined covenant of Ad Vis Per Veritas.
Yeah, it doesn't seem safe to leave people out in the open with these random sniper spells.
Nips would, if we huddle up before bed, advise that maybe we set our own watch just to kind of keep our eye on things. It was not all that long ago that we were adversarial with these folks, and she doesn't fancy getting her throat slit in the middle of the night. So yeah, maybe one professional and one teamster per watch shift here.
Spoken like a bandit.